Hey everybody, welcome to Tarot with Cleopatra Phoenix. I'm Cleopatra Phoenix. Thank you for joining me today. Um, I think we could get right into it. First of all, I hope everybody's having a great Monday or had a great Monday. We're winding down toward the end of the day. I'm a night owl, I always have like this grand design to get up at like the crack of dawn. I'm supposed to be giving y'all the card of the day, but maybe I need to give y'all the card of the evening. I don't know, because like I don't really feel like I'm coming into the energy until at least after 6 o'clock. So it's quite witchy of me, but I guess, I feel the draw of the moon more so. The other thing I wanted to say is that I'm going to start doing readings for Libras. Of course, as you'll see on a lot of different channels, people always say, just because I'm doing a reading for a particular sign, it doesn't mean that things can't, resonate with you, that the situation can't pertain to you. I think everything is everything, as Lauryn Hill said. So it's like, if you're seeing something, if you come across something, it was meant for you to come across. I definitely believe in synchronicities. I believe in a grand design. Because there's just so much about nature that makes sense. It doesn't make sense that, our lives would just be up to chance. Of course, there's so many different spiritual beliefs out there. So I'm not speaking to any which one, and I certainly would not want to give advice on what people should believe, because I also think this life is a journey. I mean, I certainly don't believe the same things or a lot of the same things that I believed when I was like 16, right? So we grow and we evolve, and I think the beauty of life is that everybody's on that journey. It's always wonderful to discover something new, to learn something new, to learn another layer about yourself, to find that you've grown, changed, matured as you get exposed to different ideas, people, energies. So I'm all for the journey and for the adventure. Today, we are going to be using, do I have the box? Do I have the box? I do. We're going to be using the Light Seers Tarot. And what I love about this deck is that it reimagines a lot of the symbology. So it's quite different from the Rider-Waite deck, but it still evokes the sense of the cards, the essence of the cards. So we'll take a look at what is going on in the universe with this deck. Oh, the other thing that I'd like to do today is show you. We could just go through. I have this beautiful deck. I just love it. I just love it. It's called the Pastoral Tarot. It's by Lynn Araujo. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. And illustrated by Lisa Hunt. But according to the authors, this deck explores how a sense of place reveals who we are and where we belong. And I know for me, I'm always feeling like I'm trying to find out where I belong. And it's not that I don't have a sense of self, but it's just that, like I said earlier, this life is just such an adventure. And I think that we belong in different places at different times in our life. But I just really like the idea of a sense of place. Just seeing how these cards affect different people, and what it makes them think about is always fascinating to me. We can actually go through some of these cards. I'll show you what they look like, because this is very uniquely laid out. So these cards are all landscape, which is interesting because nostalgic scenes of rural life, which dominate the theme of these cards, are presented in exquisite historic detail, while closely following the traditional structure of Smith-Waite Tarot. A horizontal artwork draws us into immersive landscapes for deep personal reflection, not only into tarot meanings, but just finding out like where your destiny is, and those are questions that we ask ourselves. So yeah, it's not so much that the cards predict the future, right? But it's that they, through synchronicity, bring up maybe some things that we need to look at for deep personal reflection. Um, and so I just love this. The book is great. And it's just such an optimistic deck. Like, it just, even like, we'll go through, I'll show you like the devil card and stuff, but it's just hard to find an ominous meaning in any of these cards, just the way that they're laid out. So yeah, I'm just shuffling and, rambling. The other thing that I want to say for all my Libras out there is that there is a lunar eclipse coming up on March 25th, which we probably want to pay attention to. It's going to be really powerful, and Libra is the sign of relationships. So, an opportunity for you to look at the relationships in your life that day, reflect on them, your relationship with yourself, and see where you can find balance and harmony. So, mark that date on your calendar, March 25th. It's a lunar eclipse in Libra. And we saw a new moon in Libra. What date was that? I wrote it down because I'm terrible with the dates and stuff like that. But where was it? All right. Well, you know what? I will put it in the description. Because last year we had a new moon eclipse, I think it was, in Libra. I'm not sure. And of course, it's like, well, last year, like when? Well, I have to look that up. Like I said, I'm terrible with that. I had just seen it and written it down. And of course, ask me where I wrote it down. I can't find that. But in any event, well, in any event, lunar eclipse coming up in Libra on March 25th at 3 a.m. Themes are harmony, balance, relationships. The moon's in Capricorn today, so for all our hard workers out there, it's a time to reflect on how we can be more productive, and how we can make our, plans and stuff like that come to fruition. I'm just shuffling a bit. It's hard to shuffle this deck all at once, the Lightseer deck, because the card stock is a little bit thicker, which is great. Great quality. Nice matte texture, as you can see. But just a little bit unwieldy. So I separate it in half and then shuffle. All right, let's see what the cards have to say for us on this Monday, March 4th. And I'll just pull cards and we'll just talk it through. Because like I said, it's a pensive day. It's a pensive day. The other thing that I wanted to say is that if you like spending time with me, please consider buying me a coffee. There is a link in the description where you can do so. There's also a link to my Patreon if you want to donate. That would be great. Every bit goes a long way. And yeah, let me take another sip from my cup. It's so funny. I'm drinking this Celsius, which has given me a lot of energy and helped me lose weight. I'm not trying to do an ad here, but this is peach flavor. And I've always had it straight out of the can. I only have it in here now because I just want to use my cute Libra cup. But it's yellow. And it's like, it's a little bit disconcerting because it's like, why does it taste like peaches? Weird. I think they're all probably the same color, but it's loaded with vitamins and stuff, so it's supposed to give you energy to work out. So I find myself drinking it like soda. So all right, let's see what we have going on. Okay. All right, well, these first three cards, let's see. See if you can see this. Pull this down just a little bit more. Okay. The Lovers, the Star, and the Two of Wands. Okay. So, in a nutshell, the lovers are about choices. You know, we can talk a little bit about what choices we need to make for today. The star, all about hope. And the Two of Wands, which traditionally represents dominion. So let's see if we can't make some sense out of what these cards are trying to tell us here. Because, yeah, individually we could talk about each card, but what is the story here? The beginning, the middle, and the end of what's going on in today's energy. So the lovers are all about choice, you know. And I like to refer to my Eden Gray book here because, and one of the things that's great about this book is that it gets into the astrology that's represented by the cards, and it also gets into a little bit of Kabbalah. So there's a lot of metaphysical approaches that Eden Gray gets into when we are looking at these cards, and that's what I really like about when I first started learning tarot. This card was instrumental. So yeah, choice, temptation, and attraction, right? But also the struggle between sacred and profane love. I mean, yeah, there's the sexual aspect of relationships. There's the physical attraction, right? There's the affection, you know, how you feel about somebody. But then there's also sacred love. And, you know, when we think about sacred love, usually we're thinking about, you know, humanity, fellowship, the love of other human beings, the idea that, you know, everybody is you pushed out, right? That's what the famous metaphysician, is it metaphysician? Yeah, I guess it's metaphysician, often talked about in his works, you know, dealing a lot with the whole law of attraction. But, you know, he's from like the 40s and the 50s, right? So this was when this idea of the law of attraction and metaphysics was just becoming popular. It was new age thinking. It was considered new thought, right? The new thought philosophy about how, and let's also get into the law, the universal laws, right? One of which is that all is mind. And so when we think about sacred love, we're talking about the idea that we're all one, we're all connected. So you think about the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And the reasoning for that is not just to be a goody two shoes, and it's not even superstition, right? To say like, if you treat people badly, something bad is going to happen to you, because the law of karma is not really about punishment as much as it is about restoring balance. You know, the universe in and of itself, just like our bodies, strives for equilibrium, right? It strives for homeostasis, which means everything is level. Nothing is happening on one extreme or the other, but everything's kind of like right in that middle path. And you hear about middle path thinking as well in the Kabbalah, or if you're looking at the Tree of Life. And we could get into that in some subsequent videos. But that's what sacred love is. Sacred love is the idea that at the end of the day, the power that drives the universe is love, right? Because life is about creation. It's about growth. It's about multiplying. And so that's really a sacred approach to the idea of love. And it's not even just love of family, right? So it's not like, okay, well, when you say sacred, do you mean like how you love your kids or how you love your mom? No, it's more about how we express love as human beings and how that sort of replicates what God is about, whatever your idea of God is. And it is about choice. You know, it's about choice. And you see there's some yin and yang action happening here. So it's the idea of two different opposing forces coming together to create something that is actually better than the sum of its parts, is what I think about with this. The lovers. What kind of love are you going to be manifesting in your life? How can you be more loving, not just to others, but also to yourself? You know, extending out to the planet. Like, how can we be more loving in all of our actions and in all of our choices? So, yes, it is about choice, but it's not about making the right or wrong choice as much as it is about, are you choosing love or not? The star is one of the most optimistic cards in the deck. Um, and it signifies hope, right? What do we hope for? What are we striving for? How do our choices fuel and feed the things that we put our hope and trust in? You know what I mean? It's like, what do you want to see, I guess, manifest more than anything? What inspires you? You know, this is also a card that talks about love in its greatest forms. You know, it signifies that, you know, great love is either being given or received. And, you know, it's hard to be hopeful and optimistic without love in your heart. So, whatever this choice is, are we leaning toward what gives us inspiration? Are we leaning toward, you know, what gives us hope, what inspires us to be our best selves, to do better? Two of Wands, Dominion. You know, in the traditional decks, there's a man standing between two wands and he has the world in his hands. Also, you see this bus here, and yeah, it's about travel. It's about stepping outside of your comfort zone, and putting your, you know, walking the walk in terms of what you want to manifest in this world. So overall, I think the lesson here is choosing to put your love and trust in the things that inspire you, to get out of your comfort zone and pursue those things, and keep that hope and inspiration, you know, front and center in your heart, and do it with love, the sacred love, not just the profane love, not just lust, not just the idea of an intimate relationship, say like with a partner, but just the general idea of love. So this is like a really good start that we have so far in terms of the cards that we've pulled. Let me do a little bit of shuffling here. And then we'll pull some more. Because whenever I do a reading, and you know, everybody does this, they put the cards together, it tells a certain story. But I think also that story carries a certain energy. You know, and all of those were right side up, so that's great. Our next cards we have. Okay. You know what? These cards are like, they are carding today. Look what came up next. So, Four of Wands reversed. Right? Then we have Temperance. The artwork on these cards is just so vivid. And the Sun. So before we just get into what those mean, I just want to put these two side by side. Because the meanings are great, but also the energy that's invoked. Both of these characters in these cards are looking up. They're looking up in terms of toward the, I guess, the inspiration that comes from our higher selves. And I think that that's wonderful. That's a wonderful energy that we're seeing in the cards today. You know, it's just really wonderful. Um, and the four, if we come back to this, the Four of Wands, which I can't remember, was this reversed? I think it was reversed. The Four of Wands suggests completion. So the reversed, things are still, being worked on. But we had that star from earlier, and we also had Temperance. Temperance is also about balance. The Sun is also about hope and happiness. So a theme is emerging here, in terms of plans that we have, ideas that we have to kind of take control of our destinies, how to do that in a way that reflects our highest selves and our highest ideals, and maintaining that hope. Let's look at what Eden says about temperance, because temperance also, like I said, is a kind of balance. So this is seeming like a quite Libra-ish reading right now. It's about working in harmony with others, self-control, moderation. So I talked about that equilibrium that we're always striving for, the homeostasis that we're always striving for, that middle path that we're striving for. And don't get me wrong, like, great things get done when you go to extremes. Like, let's say you stay up all night, you're breaking day because you're trying to make something happen. But temperance, it's a little bit underrated. Yes, the star suggests, like, stars, celebrities, like people who, they're at the extreme end of being popular. They probably have to work really hard, to maintain their careers and stuff like that. But temperance is important. This suggests that there needs to be like a work-life balance. There needs to be a measured approach to our relationships. Seeing all sides, of the situation. And I was going to say, this is one of the happiest cards in the deck, the Star. But the Sun is probably the happiest card in the deck. It also signifies, the birth of a child. So I don't know if somebody out there, if this card is coming up because, either you have a bun in the oven and maybe you don't know, but maybe you do. Maybe some people are expecting. But also expectancy. Expecting, right? And hoping for the best. And, that journey is not complete yet. We're still on the way. Completion is an idea that, okay, you've done everything that you can do in a particular situation, and you're reaching, say, like the culmination. So if this was, right side up, there's a happy home. It also could signify that maybe things aren't that great at home. So yeah, but in the context of this whole, and we've got the Lovers here. So in a more mundane way, this here could signify that, not is all, all is not well at home. But you've got Temperance, which means maybe if there are problems, you need to approach them with fairness. Listening is always a good idea. Maybe things aren't great, but you're hoping, you're hoping to get those, to find some sort of common ground. And we got this Sun here. So, maybe a baby is contributing to a little bit of stress here. Maybe there's a decision that needs to be made around, if you're having a baby. But this Temperance and the hope and the Sun and the Lovers, sacred love, it could be love of self. What are you doing to make yourself happy. Maybe you're not happy, whether in a job or, like I said, in a relationship. And this says it's time to step out of the comfort zone. So there might be a situation where you need to leave a relationship that's not working out, or you need to make the choice to work hard in that relationship, to not give up hope on the person you're in the relationship with, and achieve that happiness that's signified by this Sun card here. So that's what I'm seeing, and I put that back right side up, but that was reversed. Temperance, the Sun. So we'll just shuffle a bit and pull 3 more cards. Yeah, but this is a very introspective set of cards that we've pulled so far. This is, a great set of cards for reflection on where you are in a particular situation. And again, doesn't always have to be an intimate relationship. Could be talking about a familial relationship. Could be talking about a platonic relationship. Could also be talking about your relationship with yourself. So, great. Let's see what we have now. Okay. Everything here was reversed. That's interesting. So we've got our Magician reversed, our 2 of Pentacles reversed, and our Emperor reversed. So somebody out there, this energy is for you, is representing what's going on. The Magician traditionally is somebody that has all the tools that they need, to achieve whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. It also means somebody that's adept at what they're doing. So in the context of all the cards that we've drawn so far, I delved a little bit into like what this might mean if it's talking about a relationship. Well, let's deal with that layer. So if it is talking about a relationship, okay, somebody is maybe not on the up and up. You're kind of getting like charlatan energy, or maybe just somebody that doesn't have your best interests at heart, or even somebody, let's say if it's you, maybe not utilizing the gifts that they have in the most productive or sacred way. So this might be about, wielding power for the sake of power. 2 of Pentacles. This could be about dating. Maybe you're balancing 2 different relationships, or trying to, and not doing a great job at that. Maybe you're people pleasing. Maybe there's something that that you need to do for yourself, and you're not doing that. You're probably outwardly focused. And this Emperor reversed is tyranny. Now, this could be somebody in your life, or it could refer to yourself. So, if we look at the 2 of Wands, which is all about dominion, what is that saying? Perhaps, because dominion, the root in that word is dominate. Well, it's related to the word dominate. Emperor reversed often signifies some sort of tyrant, or somebody who's not wielding their masculine energy in the best of ways. So even if it's not talking about a man, it could just be talking about the ways in which we represent order in our affairs, in our lives. And as a lot of you know, the Trumps focus on themes. So like broader themes in life. So you could say the Emperor, the idea of it is that masculine energy, that organizational energy. The 4 of Wands is about completion. But when it's reversed, maybe something's not complete. And could it be that, the wrong energy is being put toward it? Maybe there's forcing of an issue that shouldn't be forced, because temperance would be the opposite of, say, like a dictatorship or a bully. Temperance um, would suggest that one is measured, one is fair. So now we're seeing themes that are kind of coming up against each other. Do you have all the tools that you need in order to find that dominion, in order to step out of that comfort zone and do what it is that you've been dreaming of doing, that you've been hoping to do, the things that inspire you? Maybe you're not taking that action. Maybe you're not taking that step. And maybe it's because there's a bit of overwhelm, in terms of, how one should proceed, right? Two of Pentacles is also traditionally about change. So if this was reversed, are we stuck somewhere? Are we stuck? You see this van, in the corner, this globe. Do we feel stuck in a certain position where we're not moving forward? Is something stopping us? The idea of this dictatorship, is it ego? Is it another person? Are we being dominated by ideas that no longer serve us, that don't contribute to our happiness? So again, questions that could be about, things that are happening outside of yourself and external causes, but also dealing with, what we are doing ourselves, what's not working out. For all of these to be reversed, it signifies to me that there is something going on internally, to be honest. There's choices. And again, change or choice. So twos are always about change or choice. And here we have two opposing energies. How are they coming together? Are they coming together in harmony? Are they coming together in unison? Or is there some kind of disconnect that's stopping us from having a balanced approach toward whatever it is that our goal is? Or that's stopping us from getting started on the road toward whatever it is that we want? Whether, again, that's a job, a relationship, a sense of self, a sense of direction. So yeah, this is signifying to me that there's an internal thing that's happening. You're not going to be able to get very far if you don't believe in yourself. Also, if you're not wielding the tools that you have in a manner that is temperate, you can get stuck, or you can feel dominated, right, by your own inaction, or maybe old ideas that have, long since been played out. Let's see if we can't draw some more cards and see what specifically might be the energy that's holding everything up. Okay, so we will lay these here. And again, these were all reversed. Because, there's always an answer in terms of how you can calibrate so that you can move forward. There's always an answer. Like I said, these cards are pretty thick, so I am shuffling them a bit at a time so that I can handle them without dropping them all over the floor. So maybe we'll just pull some more cards and see what cards the new ones are speaking to and what elaborations they have for us to give us a bit more insight. But so far, with our trump cards, themes are around change. They're around sacred love. They're around autonomy, self-reliance, integrity, And they're around, you know, the ideas that we buy into, and, you know, whether they're despotic ideas, whether there's dogma that's happening, or whether, you know, there's an opportunity for us to break free of a mindset that's not serving us, that's keeping us stuck. So let's see what we got. Okay. Okay. So now we have Two of Cups reversed, Strength reversed, and the Seven of Wands reversed. All right, guys, so as we get deeper into this, yes, I'm convinced that this is about an internal struggle. This doesn't really have anything to do with an external relationship. And I brought up Neville Goddard earlier, and I am not even... Am I recording? Oh, thank God. Okay. I'm telling you, I need a production assistant up in here. Because if I wasn't recording, y'all, let me tell you something. If I found that I wasn't recording, I was going to go to bed. Like, seriously. Without dinner, nothing. I was just going to go to bed. Call it a day. So maybe this is also talking about my own energy. But the Two of Cups is about love. This being reversed and having the Lovers here. Choice. Strength reversed. Lack of courage. Okay. So we're seeing now the correlation between this Two of Wands, which is about dominion, and strength reversed, suggesting some sort of fear or some sort of, you know, situation where you're not having faith in yourself. Seven of Wands signifies valor, and this is reversed. So fear. There are themes of fear that are contrary to the hopeful cards that we pulled before. So yes, you can be of divided mind. You know what I mean? You can have dreams and goals and believe in them. But of course, everybody gets gripped by fear at some point in their lives. Even though, you know, they're hopeful about things and they want things to work out. Self-doubt is something that we all struggle with. You know, and these cards are speaking to me about some self-doubt out there that's happening. So while this could signify a charlatan and this could signify a bully, what I'm seeing in this is the idea that we don't believe that we have all the tools that we need to step out of that comfort zone. We're not ready to step out of the comfort zone because we're afraid. And the reason we're afraid is we're wondering, do I have what it takes? You know, that self-love, if it's not there, how do we take steps to go forward? How do we achieve what it is that we want so badly, that we wish and hope for so badly, if we don't have the belief in self to do that? If we don't feel like we have the self-control to do it? If we don't feel like we have enough belief in the dream to go forward? Well, we can't. We're stuck. We're stuck. We're dominated by our own inability to move forward. So we're stuck. And we need valor, and we don't have it. Now, why is that? Now, what's interesting about this card, if you look at the imagery, I'll turn these right up just so you can see. So, this person is very poised. You know, the stillness speaks to an inner strength. So maybe we feel we're not strong enough. And I mean, the strength card is reversed here. So we're definitely feeling a bit of fear about what the future holds. And we probably don't love ourselves very much right now as a result of that. You know, you could both be stuck and not feeling like you have the ability to move forward, and then have that self-loathing that results in not taking that chance, not moving on what we said we were going to move on, not committing to what we said we were going to commit to. You know, oftentimes my subconscious will step up and find, ways to distract me from doing a reading. Well, the production, and you got to get, you have to get the backdrop right, and the scenery and the lighting, and everything has to be perfect. Things don't have to be perfect for you to start. You could start right where you are. Things don't have to be perfect in order for you to move forward. You don't have to be perfect in order to love yourself. Love is not about deserving. There's the idea inherent in the concept of love that, love is life. Some people say God is love. The highest form of love is the love of self. Selflessness, toward others certainly, but also the honoring of the self. So when we look at how all these cards are coming together, we keep seeing themes of change, themes of courage, themes of believing that you have the tools that you need to do what you need to do. The idea that unhappiness, is a state of mind. Our body is our temple, right? So this card typically deals with whether a home is happy or not. But knowing who we are inside can also give us a sense of home, right? Can give us a sense, or a sort of baseline for, making sense of the world. And when you can't do that because you don't believe in yourself, it can be difficult. But we're also finding suggestions in here on how to move forward. Temperance. Temper your disappointment. Temper your self-flagellation, if you will. None of us are perfect. A balanced sense of yourself, your identity, or your sense of self is also required in order for you to achieve happiness. Happiness is something that's, we always pursue. There's a lot of philosophies out there that say that, they're a little bit, to me, nihilistic, right? The idea that, everybody's always searching for happiness. It's impossible to expect to be happy all the time. Well, yeah, we know that. We know that, life has an ebb and flow to it. So we're not always going to be happy. But one of the things that we can do, and I talk about gratefulness all the time, gratefulness inspires hope. We could sit around talking about how, I'm not enough. I don't feel a sense of completion. I don't feel like I've figured out like where I'm supposed to be in life. Well, who has? Who has? The only people who don't have to worry about that anymore are people who passed away, at least as far as we know. So every day that you're alive is an opportunity for you to rekindle that hope, and for you to find within yourself the courage. Where's my strength card here? The courage to wield your power. What this also signifies is sometimes people are afraid of success. They're afraid of their own power. You know, they're so used to being complacent with what is, or being in that comfort zone, that they never, they never take the steps to find that happiness. And what I think happiness is, so again, if you look at the yin and yang sort of energy that's being expressed in this card, that dance, there's also a dance that's being suggested in this card. The back and forth of, the feminine and the masculine aspects of ourselves, and how we find balance between those. Because let's say there's too much of the masculine energy, right? Then you have a sort of despotic approach to how you view yourself, to how you view others. And that's not a road toward happiness. That's a road toward judgment, resentment, fear, separation, which you're seeing here. This card traditionally represents love. It's the opposite of that. These hands become unentwined, right? And when those two sides of you, when the feminine and the masculine sides of you are not operating in tandem and in balance, you get that sense of separation. You know what I mean? You get that sense of instability. You feel incomplete. You feel incomplete. And then you judge yourself. And it's really, this cycle. The more you give in to fear, the more fear shows itself. And then you get into that self-loathing. So do you have a balanced view of yourself? Do you have a balanced view, really, a really true view? Not a self-flagellating view, not a self-deprecating view of yourself where you go, woe is me, I can't achieve anything. I knew this was going to happen. Do you have that kind of mindset? Or are you, and by the same token, because the yin and yang is about balance, are you saying to yourself that you should be in a different place? Because I would suggest to you that, the bossy aspect of yourself, maybe your super ego is on 1000, right? And it's like, hurry up and be your highest self. Hurry up and be your best self. Do it now. We want that structure. We want that completion. Well, you can't steamroll into everything. On one end, you have a person who doesn't believe in themselves. And then on the other end, you have someone who is so ego-driven that, they just steamroll over people and do whatever they want to do, probably in a negative fashion. And that's the opposite of what this card is calling for. The moon signifies our emotions. The sun signifies who we are, how we take action. Those two things need to be in balance. Look at this Two of Cups. Look at this Two of Wands. Forget about whether they were reversed or right side up at this time, because we've got our theme that's emerging here. Courage, hope, happiness, sacred love, the love of self. You're a child of God, right? They say we're made of the stuff of stars. Are you treating yourself that way? Are you believing in yourself? If you were, again, look at this. The magician is balancing all of the elements. He or she is wielding all of the tools that they have, and they're doing it with confidence. They're doing it from the heart. Okay, they're doing it from the heart here. They're taming that animal side of themselves. Because the animal side, which is usually represented by the root chakra, right, is all about survival. It's all about survival. It's all about winning. It's all about dominating. But when you do it in the right way, when you do it from the heart, you see this lamb here. The loving side of you can reside right next to the side of you that's bestial, really, right? And it's sort of a balance. Notice that this is the lion, this is the lamb, okay? Two opposites coming together. This is the man, this is the woman, or this is the feminine energy, this is the negative energy. The masculine energy. Negative, magnetic, masculine, electric. This is the sun, okay? You're seeing two opposites coming together in balance. You're seeing two opposites coming together in balance. You're seeing two opposites coming together in balance. Your sun and your moon. Your sun and your moon. Okay? Your sun and your moon. That's very interesting. And then you've got the twos going on with these cards. The Two of Wands. The Two of Pentacles. This is all about balancing your masculine and your feminine energy. Your actions and your emotions need to be unified. Temperance, look at this. It's right here in the cards. You see that sun and that moon? 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 You got a star here. You've got the sun here. All of these cards are telling us to look at that ability to balance all of these things within ourselves. Completion. This is about completion. These two aspects complete each other, coming together in one form. You see the sun and the moon? That masculine, that feminine duality. That's what's represented there, coming together. The magician brings all of these things to bear in order to achieve what? Where's my star? The highest aspirations that you have. Hope. You can't really get anywhere if you're not harmonizing these energies. This is what that energy looks like when it's not harmonized. Too much masculine energy, too much forcing, too much pushing, too much, I'm going to make it happen. You know, okay, well, what if you're not ready for all that? What if you're not ready for all that? You'll be out of balance. To be in balance, you have to have those two parts of yourself operating in harmony. So, I mean, that's just kind of like what is happening for me with these cards. The Two of Wands. You want to have dominion? You got to be balanced. You want your plans to come out right? You know? You want to step outside that comfort zone? You got to be in balance. You have to have courage. Strength was reversed and the Seven of Wands was reversed. Seven of Wands is about valor. Standing up for what you believe in. Standing up for yourself, believing in yourself. Strength. Do you have the faith in yourself. If you don't, things fall apart. If you're too, like say for example, this suggests if you're too left-brained, where's the creativity? Where's the creativity that goes into stepping out of that comfort zone? You know? It's not there. It's not there. So we've looked at the possibilities. The sun, you know, pretty much nothing negative about that. But it's a theme. It's happiness. It's the beginning of something. Choice. Choosing sacred love over profane love. Profane love evokes ideas of jealousy, envy, right? What happens when, you know, somebody thinks their, you know, lover or whatever is stepping out, or maybe they feel like they're not getting, you know, as much as they're putting into a relationship because it's imbalanced. The idea here, you see, she's holding on to his dreadlocks. He's holding on to her. Where does one begin and the other end? Well, you don't know that. So in a circle, that's why it represents eternity. That's why it represents the whole of everything. You're not really telling where one begins and where one ends. You see these wings here? Highest ideal. And this light here to me suggests, you know, your crown chakra is in full effect. You know, you're balancing, you know, your physical self, you know, your needs, your wants, your desires with your higher self, your ideals, your integrity, your courage, you know, courage to step out of the comfort zone, courage not to believe in, one way of thinking, being flexible enough to explore creatively how to come to the same conclusion. You know, sometimes people want a whole bunch of rules and regulations and, you know, there's only one way of being. It's the way of the strong. And yes, that's what would be suggested by this strength card. But look, there's a gentle lamb here. There's an acceptance of the animal side of oneself. There's the suggestion of the acceptance of the beast within you and taming that. Not driving it to go harder, right? To be more hard on yourself. Notice there's only one globe here. This is the sun. And of course, you see the ram's horns here. So this is all about Mars energy, right? This is all about masculine energy. But all these cards, and even this, valor, do you have the strength sometimes to be still? Do you have the strength sometimes to not try to drive yourself or the situation to a particular outcome, but rather to sit and watch it unfold? Or is fear driving you to extreme measures? One globe here. But combining those two sides of yourself, embracing the duality of yourself, your imperfection, okay? And synthesizing those so that they work together in harmony. And that's where you have your temperance. So, yeah. Wow, this was interesting. A balanced outlook is key. I feel like the strongest cards here, Temperance, the Sun, Strength, the Magician, the Star, the Emperor, the Lovers. There are quite a few trumps, to say the least, in this reading. There are 3 twos in this reading. So let's get into some numerology. Let's get into some numerology here. We got the 2 of Pentacles. Where you at, baby? The Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles. The ability to juggle 2 situations at one time, which of course, you know, is implied. Harmony in the midst of change. The 2 of Pentacles is known as the Lord of Change. And so, yes, harmony in the face of change. Harmony in the face of change. Harmony in the face of change. You can see here where it almost looks like there's a transformation. But between what and what? Is there a transformation from the human to the beast, or is there a transformation from the beast to the human? And again, this is a positive card, so if it's reversed, it probably suggests there's a transformation from the human to the beast. And what that means is operating out of the root chakra. See the red there in the heart? If this is reversed, there's operating out of the root chakra happening. I mean, this is reversed. There's operating out of the root chakra happening. See all this red, all this Mars energy, all this male energy, taking it over, exhibiting power, showing everybody who's who and what's what. Okay, but is that always necessary? What choice is being made here? Is there supposed to be a choice? Or is there supposed to be an integration? Okay. What does it look like when there's integration? Well, you see this? This looks like this, doesn't it? Harmony and balance. Harmony and balance amidst change. When this change is happening, when you step out of that comfort zone and you get in that van and you start traveling the world, maybe you're getting in a van and you're traveling the world, right? Do you have temperance with you? Are you combining the 2 aspects of yourself as you go on this journey? So yeah, these are just things to reflect on. I know I kept going on and on about that. And we didn't get a chance to look at that pastoral tarot as I was talking about, because we're already at 1 hour and 3 minutes. But yeah, this was a really good spread. Within it, there's a lot of things for reflection, and there's also a lot of things for encouragement, hope, and inspiration. You can do it. You have everything that you need within you to go exactly where it is that you want to go in this life, as long as you are combining the 2 aspects of yourself. That happiness is yours. That hope and inspiration that you have inside you, let it out. Try something new. Be creative. Embrace the feminine aspect of yourself. Merge that beast with the human. Be brave. Choose wisely. Sacred love is the highest form of love. Maintain your harmony and your balance in the face of change. And then you get to a sense of completion. All right, well, that's it for our reading today. Thank you for spending time with me. Like I said, if you like everything that's going on here, if you like what I have to say, if you like me, if you like my face, consider buying me a coffee. But that's it. Me and Hello Kitty. are out of here for this evening, and I'll see you next time on Tarot with Cleopatra Phoenix. Thank you.